Urgent Vikings fan, look at what just happened. Nobody saw this coming, huh? But first, make sure to subscribe to the channel because we bring you daily videos with the latest your team news, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Why the Vikings will likely take their time. Finding a backup QB, it's all about the picks. Hey, folks. I want to start this one off by apologizing for the relative slowness of the site over the past few days. I caught some sort of virus that spent the whole weekend whooping up on me, but now I think I've finally seen the worst of it. Fingers crossed. Well, after what can only be classed as an outstanding free agency period, the Minnesota Vikings don't have a lot of issues to address at this point. One that stands out a bit is what the team is going to do at backup quarterback, considering that J.J. McCarthy has been told by Kevin O'Connell that he isn't yet the starter. The team is going to have to bring in an option other than Brett Rypien at some point in the proceedings here. So why haven't they already done so, you may wonder? It likely has a bit to do with the team playing the compensatory pick game with the 2026 NFL Draft. As he does every year, Nick Corta of Over the Cap is tracking where he's projecting all of the compensatory picks for 2026 to go. As of now, the Vikings are slated to get 2 extra selections after what's gone on in free agency. They're projected to get the highest comp pick available for the loss of Sam Darnold, much like they did in this year's draft for Kirk Cousins leaving town. And they're also projected to receive a 4th-round selection for Daniel Jones choosing to go to Indianapolis rather than stay in Minnesota. Now, Corta's calculations aren't official, if for no other reason than nobody really knows how the compensatory pick system truly works, but he does have a pretty high accuracy rate with his projections. So if the Vikings are tracking the same thing as he is, they are likely going to be waiting until after the signing of free agents doesn't affect the compensatory pick calculus, which is usually a week or 2 after the draft. There are some potential exceptions to this. We recently mentioned that the Vikings had some discussions with Ryan Tannehill, who would not count against the compensatory pick formula because he was not with the team last season. There's also the scenario where the Vikings could sign someone who was released rather than having their contract naturally expire, a move that would also not count against the formula. Yes, you know exactly who I'm talking about with the latter example, and no, you will not catch me advocating for that in any way, shape, or form. So if you're waiting for the Vikings to fill their vacancy at the backup quarterback spot, you're likely going to have to wait until early to mid-May for them to do so. A lot of the options that are currently available are likely going to be there when that time comes, so there's certainly no need to panic yet. As totally the starter, don't let anyone fool you. Pausing this news just to say that if you want YouTube to keep recommending the latest Vikes news to you, it's very important that you leave a like on this video. Thanks. Now let's get back to the news. Aaron Rodgers informed Vikings they are his preferred team. Although Steelers' confidence re Aaron Rodgers has emerged, the allure of a Vikings landing spot persists. Minnesota is standing down on Rodgers for the time being. The team intends to give J.J. McCarthy the first crack at starter reps during its offseason program. This places Rodgers in a bit of a bind, and it also could stall the Steelers and Giants and potentially force one or both teams to blink as this holding pattern continues. Rodgers has gone as far as, per ESPN.com's Kevin Seifert, informing the Vikings they are his preferred destination. Rodgers, 41, has been careful not to rule out teams doing so would decrease his leverage. He views the Giants as a viable option, even though New York's offer, one believed to be the best the future Hall of Famer has received, this offseason is unlikely to produce a deal. The Steelers hosted Rodgers on a visit Friday, but they have not upped their offer made at the beginning of free agency. Nevertheless, some around the league view it as a safe bet the Steelers will end up with Rodgers, though he may well continue to wait on Minnesota rather than force a Pittsburgh fit. If Rodgers waits, more comparisons to his Packers predecessor will undoubtedly emerge, after the Jets relinquished Brett Favre's rights due to a poison pill. Provision in the Packers-Jets trade from 2008 and 2009, Favre spent more than 3 months in free agency. The Vikings added him on August 18, 2009. The Vikings did not receive word Favre would unretire for a 3rd time until August 18, 2010. The Giants and Steelers will almost definitely not wait that long on Rodgers this offseason, but the Vikings may be willing to hold here due to the McCarthy on-ramp they are creating. McCarthy did stop short of confirming the Vikings guaranteed Him the starting job, telling Kay Adams he has not been told he will begin the season as the starter. With no veteran on the roster, despite organizational support for adding Rodgers after a 143 season and a number 10 overall pick invested, it is safe to say McCarthy is in the driver's seat to be the NFC North team's Week 1 signal caller. Minnesota did make an offer to Daniel Jones, which would have removed the team from the Rodgers market, but the bridge option opted to sign with Indianapolis instead. And I'm happy they didn't, because I try to earn it every single day, McCarthy said of the starting job during an Up Adams appearance, and I never want that to be given to me. It's such a privilege and opportunity to give me that chance, and I'm just going to make the most of it every single day. The Vikings have left open the prospect of signing Rodgers this summer, Seifert adds, presumably after looking at McCarthy. During OTAs and minicamp, this would leave roughly 7 weeks for the Vikes to reconsider Rodgers, though he may already have a new home by then. Then again, a Vikings or retirement rumor surfaced during this saga. It is not a lock Rodgers would play in Pittsburgh or New York, but it certainly appears the Steelers believe he would delay retirement to play for them. Doing so would preempt a partnership with his top option, however, that could cause Rodgers to keep waiting, even though the Steelers, as of now, at least will present a better chance for him to start throughout the 2025 season. J.J. McCarthy releases statement after Vikings pass on Aaron Rodgers. The Minnesota Vikings were mentioned as a top suitor for Aaron Rodgers in recent weeks. However, after all of the rumors and speculation, the front office decided to pass on the future Hall of Fame quarterback. Instead, the Vikings are focused on building around young quarterback J.J. McCarthy. He is the clear face of the future. Although there are concerns about throwing him into the fire in 2025, McCarthy missed the entire 2024 season due to injury. He missed out on a lot of important development. Following the departure of Sam Darnold, he will now have a chance to take over as the starter in Minnesota and will be facing major pressure. While the team will not sign Rodgers, at least for now, the Vikings are interested in adding a veteran quarterback alongside of McCarthy. Ryan Tannehill is a name that has come up as a potential option. Regardless of who Minnesota brings in, if the veteran is along the lines of Tannehill, McCarthy should end up winning the starting job. Kevin O'Connell has not named McCarthy as his starter, which is something McCarthy is thankful about. After the Vikings decided to move forward with him as their guy, McCarthy has spoken out with a statement about competing for the starting job. It's clear that he is excited and ready to compete. I'm happy they didn't, because I try to earn it every single day. I never want that to be given to me, McCarthy said about not being named the starter yet. During his final season with the Michigan Wolverines to end his college career, McCarthy led his team to a national championship. He's a proven leader and winner. He completed 72. 3% of his pass attempts for 2,191 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. In addition, he chipped in with 202 yards and 3 scores on the ground. There is no question that the potential and talent is there for McCarthy to become a special NFL quarterback. Minnesota clearly sees enough on him to pass on one of the best signal callers of all time. All of that being said, the stage has been set for McCarthy. He will still need to win the starting job, but it's his position to lose moving into the future. And now, Vikings fan, I want to hear from you. What's your opinion on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I don't know if you know this, but your opinion matters a lot for Vikes. I'll be back any moment with more Vikings news. Skol, Vikings!